All right. All right. And here we go. And here we are. It has been a long time coming that we have had this opportunity in the works, but finally it is here. Mark the day down. Saturday, September 20th, 3:30 p.m., and we are more than thrilled to be with you here inside the Erie Insurance Arena for what's going to be an awesome opening night and an awesome season. Isaac Petcash, Tim Quinn, and my friend, it is the start of our Off the Record Gym City Sports Network partnership. Let's go. I can't wait.
Finally, it has been too long since me and you have worn the headsets together, so I'm so excited to get this done, and it's a huge deal, right? I'm so excited to bring this to the Erie community and to the people all around the world to be able to watch this and get a deeper connection with the Erie Otters.
We are thrilled to be able to have the Erie Otters partner with us tonight and throughout the entire season for what's going to be an incredible year of hockey. You know, when you, Trevor, and I first started talking about this, I think the marriage was pretty easy, right? We love local sports. We know how big the Otters are in this community. But I think the other thing that was so important about a show like this for this network is being able to tell those stories. And, you know, as we get into the season, we're going to be talking to a lot of players tonight. Some other guests will join us along the way. We're here with you for the course of the next hour or so. And you know, Tim, we talk all the time about how hockey is normally a game where the players are quiet. They don't really have personalities. But this show in particular, Off the Record, which will be every Thursday night, is really going to showcase those stories that the players don't necessarily get to tell you on a day-by-day basis.
Right. That's the big thing, right? And for me, you know, running the social media, that's what I want to portray for our athletes this season is the human behind the player, right? It is to show the person underneath number 11, underneath number 84, number 27. So you're not just falling in love with the Erie Otters on the ice, because it is going to be an incredible season, right? We're so excited for our fans to get in here. We're going to have a couple of thousand people pack inside Erie Insurance Arena tonight. Going to be a loud one for the first game of the season. But we also want you to fall in love with the people underneath their helmets, right? We want to show off their personalities, who they are, so that way you can really gain a deeper appreciation for these athletes, because they are young players. 16 to 20 is the OHL. That's the age range. So young players going to try to make a name for themselves, trying to make it into that professional field and make it to the NHL, and the Erie Otters and the OHL, in my opinion, is the best way to do that.
Well, in case you haven't been watching social media or watching our channels, and of course we're live tonight simulcasting on both the Gem City Sports Podcast Network channels and the Erie Otters social medias, and we'll be doing that throughout the entire course of the season with our Off the Record podcast when Tim and Trevor start their episodes. But we're excited about this partnership in so many different reasons, and I really think, Tim, podcasting is the new age of media, right? You know, I'm a former TV guy myself. You went to Mercyhurst and had so much involvement with their student media there, and it is stuff like this that I think people really get attached to and really interested in. And ahead of opening night tonight, what an opportunity for us to be able to just showcase what that new age of media might look like between the two of us for Off the Record and, of course, the GCSN.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me, myself, I'm a huge podcast guy, right? Yeah. And when you get in the car, you're driving around, you go to the gym, whatever you're going to be doing, you know, you can't just keep listening to the same songs on repeat all the time. And so I like to change it up and get a different podcast in there. And I think for the Erie community who loves to love their own, right? They like to support from within. That's why I think high school football is so big up here,
huge,
right?
Yes.
Absolutely huge, because people love to support young local athletes who they can get behind. And I think that's what the Erie Otters can be. And I think this is just another avenue to showcase that, to give these guys a platform to tell their stories, because you have just so many incredible stories on this team, not only this year, but in years past. Of course, you're looking back to Connor McDavid, the big name that everybody knows, Matthew Schaefer, who just went first overall in the NHL draft this past summer. So just showcasing some incredible stories from these young players, I think is the main thing.
Well, let's start with sharing a couple of stories that we have from the offseason. And I really want to start with you ahead of opening night with a guy who's not on the team right now in Matthew Schaefer. We don't know, will he come back? Will he play with the New York Islanders? But I think the first story that's most appropriate to tell here on our first ever special episode is you going to LA for the NHL draft. When you told me about this in the summer, it was amazing to hear just all of the things that you got to do in following him and other Otters around. Can you give us that story of what the experience was like for you?
Oh my goodness. It was probably the best professional experience I've ever had in my life. So, you know, a little bit of backstory. I started full-time with the Erie Otters May 5th. So right as I was getting ready to graduate from Mercyhurst, and the NHL draft June 27th and 28th live in LA. My first day I pitched, hey, You want me to give good social media? Send me to LA. Let me go to LA. Let me cover this incredible young man,
Right.
in Matthew Schaefer. And everybody was all for it. So booked it up. And flew out there. Man, what an experience it was. I went out a day early. And so I got to kind of walk around the Peacock Theater, walk around the crypto.com arena and see downtown LA a little bit, get myself adjusted. And I got about no sleep that night, just so excited for the next day, getting out there as early as I could. And man, just seeing the support that the NHL has. Of course, it's a worldwide brand at this point in hockey. The game of hockey, I believe, is hotter and better than it's ever been before. And just seeing how many people came to LA from all around the country and just talking to them, just having different stories. I go up and everybody's in their jerseys. It's pretty easy to tell where people are from or where they support. And so, and for me, wearing an Erie Otters patch, I was hounded with some New York Islanders fans who came over. A couple San Jose Sharks fans as well, who were just had their fingers crossed.
Try to trade up for that number one pick, maybe.
Exactly. But it was just so neat, man, to go out there and feel that love. And have so many people just share stories about how they got into hockey, why they enjoy it so much, why they believe that Matthew Schaefer is the right pick for the New York Islanders, why he's an incredible person to watch, even if you're not an Islanders fan, and somebody that has drawn in a lot of viewership, a lot of eyes for fans who don't like the OHL at all, right? People were coming up to me just like, man, I saw a story, like, incredible, just an incredible person, incredible young man. So I think that just seeing the people there was probably, to me, the most special thing about it. And that's even before noon. I go out there and I had a camera with me. I had to charge the camera battery 4 times because I was just videoing everything in existence.
Right.
And so all of that, they had great outdoor events going on, much like we have today with FanFest, right? They had NHL Street had come in and put together a couple street hockey games. And I think it was BioSteel Gatorade was out there. They had all kind of tents set up, and of course in a really nice venue right downtown LA. So the outdoor bit of the draft was really, really special. And that and some of that I like to pull into this FanFest this year. And one of those things is the player red carpet. The NHL draft had their first round guys kind of come out. Everybody that was expected, it was around 20 or so guys. Everybody that was expected to go in that first round come out onto the red carpet. I believe it was ESPN or the NHL Network was doing a show right at the top of the red carpet. Players would go through, take their time, take some pictures, sign some autographs. I really liked the look of that, and to be able to be out there and have a little moment with Matthew Schaefer. I was able to give him a T-shirt that we had made for him, and we actually sold in the Otters Den as well, with his name on the back, the NHL draft logo with an Otters logo on it. To be able to have that nice moment with him out there was really, really special. But yeah, man, that whole day was just and all of that is before I even stepped foot in the building. So there's just there's so many stories. I could talk for probably 4 hours from that entire experience.
Well, let's see, it's 3:42 right now. I get to the first intermission. Trevor can handle the broadcast himself for the first period.
Exactly, yeah.
It is super cool to hear all of these stories, and that's just one of many that you'll be hearing throughout the season on Off the Record. Again, you can watch Off the Record every Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's what our podcast time will be, right here on the Gem City Sports Podcast Network and the Erie Otters social media channels. So that was the summer. We come to the season, and now it is the home opener. We're going to try to show you some of the sights and sounds of FanFest a little bit later in this podcast, but you know, Tim, opening night is always so special. No one thinks about hockey in September. And then there are Erieites and the chaos and the craziness that is just outside the arena right now. You hear the music. You might hear the music blaring in the background. There are so many fans out here already. And, you know, Erie is a great sports market. We know that for sure. You mentioned high school football, of course, with the Seawolves and what they did last night. Just the teams around here that we care about and we really praise. This night, though, in particular, open night for the Otters, it's hard to replicate an atmosphere like this.
Oh, my goodness. That's why I love hockey so much. And, I grew up playing baseball. I played baseball in college, right? Like that's a sport that growing up was the closest to me. And I really was not good at hockey. So that's why I was like, I need to move away.
Dude, I couldn't skate. Quick side story, by the way. And maybe you will appreciate this. Maybe you won't. Only time I ever went ice skating was in Pittsburgh. It was one of the first dates I ever had with my wife. And I was pretty sure she was breaking up with me after I went. I tried to skate around that circle thing. I had to clutch onto her the entire time. It was pretty embarrassing. Anyway, I digress. You were saying.
Yeah, so baseball guy growing up, but then
Yeah,
coming into Erie, and obviously Pittsburgh Penguins fan as well, being
sure.
from Pittsburgh. So see a couple of Stanley Cups, get to a couple of games, and just seeing that atmosphere was really unmatched across all sports to me. I was not somebody who went to a Pittsburgh Steelers game until recently. I've been a Steelers fan all my life, but never went to a game. I wanted to make sure I was maybe older, a little bit older to enjoy.
Sure.
But something about hockey just draws you in. That indoor environment, it can get really loud, really electric. It's
No
a
doubt.
fun game to watch when you're a kid. Just the fast movement. They're skating on ice, which to me was just this absurd thing in my mind. And the big hits coming, and the huge goals, and the goal horn, and the music, and the
Mhm.
sounds, and the sights. It was just a perfect sport to me. And I really, really enjoyed it growing up. And then coming to Erie, being able to, as you said, work at Mercyhurst and do so many hockey games there. But then right as I got my foot in the door here, really just took off. And my love for the game, my love for this team, my love for the community, it really shines through inside Erie Insurance Arena. It doesn't matter if you have 2,000 or 7,000 people.
Right.
It gets loud in here. And I love seeing the passion from this community.
So let's talk about the game tonight, because you got probably, if not London coming into your building, and maybe not Niagara coming into your building, you probably have the second or third team that you really want coming into your building in the Kitchener Rangers. We've seen these playoff matchups before with these two teams. It's been so fascinating to me to watch these rivalries blossom. You know, it's funny because you look at the OHL landscape, there are only a handful of American teams, right? And you think to yourself, well, the Americans are really the ones that have the rivalry, right? You've got Flint, Saginaw, of course, Erie. Those are going to be the teams that really hate each other. No. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you think about the rivalry Erie's built with London and now Kitchener. And tonight's game is going to be fun. Last Wednesday, when Trevor came on our flagship show, he talked about how, look, we're going to be a grind team, a physical team this year. Head coach Chris Millette really wants that attacking mentality and bodies on pucks and bodies on bodies. It could get feisty tonight, Tim. Kitchener coming in with playoff aspirations themselves.
Certainly so. This is a physical hockey team. You know, I had the chance to go out to Guelph yesterday and watch the game, and unfortunately, it was a 5-2 loss. It was a tough first period for the Otters. I think they played a great back 40 minutes. However, in the second and the third period, they really showcased their physicality. And a duo that I really, really liked to watch was the Edwards brothers. They play on separate lines, but they were able to bring the physicality in different ways. Dylan Edwards kind of reminded me of Josh Allen, what his mindset is going into a football game last night, where it's like, hey, sometimes you got to get in the game, and I want to get in the game. So let me get hit or hit somebody. Let me get that physical aspect going. And Eddie's one of those guys that really wants to be a leader on this team. Wore an A on the jersey yesterday, and he's one of the candidates surely deeper into the season to get that C, in my opinion. So leading with that physicality, I think he has kind of adopted that role of like, hey, this is what this team needs to be this season. Maybe we need to be a little bit more physical. We can't be that flashy 8 goals a night sort of a team. So let's start it out early and let's set the tone. And I joked with Trevor last night on the broadcast that Team USA has the Tkachuk brothers and the Erie Otters have the Edwards brothers, because Caden Edwards, no slouch down on the fourth line. He was coming out firing, a big penalty killer as well. So those two were really fun to watch. But in terms of the physical presence on the ice, every single line seemingly has somebody that can just lay the body, and defensively really great too. Garrett Frazier, one of the guys that was just, big booms yesterday. Some big booms yesterday were laid, but you got Ritter Coombs, Wesley Royston, two guys that really stand out as physical players for the Otters. So I think that's something that fans can really look forward to this season, is that sense of physicality, is that sense of like going into a game and saying, look, you can underestimate us all you want. We're going to come out there and we're going to bite a kneecap. And we're going to survive, and we're going to win a 2-1 hockey game. And I think that's super exciting.
So in that line, we referenced Josh Allen and Dan Campbell. Maybe we should get to like 5 NFL players / head coaches. Maybe that's our code words for the night. By the way, leave a comment below. We can pull some comments into the show tonight. Let us know where you're watching from. Maybe you're tuning in from the parking lot in the grassy area, and you're at FanFest. I see some bouncy houses, some live music, some food, games. I'll tell you what, Tim, once we get done with this, I'm going to go out there. We're going to go party. You got work to do. I get the rest of the night to just relax, which is neat. Let's talk about the game last night. You mentioned a tough first period, but they did, I think, for the last 40 minutes, find their footing, play a little bit better. And that's going to be expected, right? First period jitters, you're on the road. Guelph is certainly a playoff caliber and playoff hopeful team. What do you think Chris Millette told his guys after the game? What you like, didn't like from that game last night against Guelph?
Certainly. I mean, I think it's really tough to judge a hockey team based on that one game. That's something that I had the chance to talk to both Chris Millette and Brett Hammond, who had a pair of goals for the Otters last night. That was something that they really said, look, it's one game. It's the first game of the season, first game for so many of these guys. We have 15 returning players, and when you boil it down to guys who have played 8 or more OHL games going into last night, it's 11. So you have so many new players on this team, and so it's tough to really tell how they're going to mesh. And you can practice. You can practice against each other head-to-head. You can do the simulated games all you want. Nothing compares to a real game, going out there, changing those lines, staying together, figuring out those tendencies. But there were certainly a lot of bright spots last night. I think defensively, we're really tight at times. Just the inconsistencies shine through, and that caused Guelph to have a couple of open lanes towards Noah Erliden. But I really like the way our defensive group was moving, and I think assistant coach Ken Paroff, who is the defensive coach, has done an incredible job with a little bit more of a veteran group back there. He's got some different bodies. I really like the defensive pairing of Tristan Trevino and Michael D'Alessio. D'Alessio, who really impressed in orientation camp back in spring. It was the first thing I was able to be a part of as a part of the Otters back in May, and he really impressed me just forward going up and being a part of the rush and his wrist shot, slap shot, whatever. And then he's going back defensively. I thought he was a great lockdown defender. Tristan Trevino comes in, commit to Robert Morris. This is his first year with the Otters, a big body back there defensively, and was able to use that frame really, really well. So I think some bright spots offensively for sure in Brett Hammond, who played outstanding. Hammond is one of those guys who's just a physical specimen on and off the ice. He, you don't have to worry about him coming off the ice tired. He's almost somebody you have to try to lasso and get him off the ice because he wants to keep going. And last night, certainly chomping at the bit to try to get his third goal of the night. So certainly some bright spots and a great defensive look. I just think the consistency needs to pick up a little bit, and certainly it will once this team starts to mesh together, bond together, learn each other's tendencies moving forward.
It's something you expect to change tonight, right? First period jitters on the road are expected. First period energy tonight, you figure, with likely close to capacity crowd this evening. And by the way, if you haven't got your tickets yet, what are you doing? Just stop by the box office or order them online, whatever you need to do. You can get tickets for tonight's game, Otters and Rangers, in about 3 hours from now at 7 p.m. Tim, let's talk about the excitement of the home crowd being back. I'm not quite sure how you can define or describe just how wonderful it's going to be back home. We're excited, and we're in the building. It's 3:51. Doors don't open for another little while. What's it going to be like just from your perch in the booth? Not even in the booth. You're going to be inside the glass.
Right.
To have that home crowd back, it's going to be super sweet.
Oh, my goodness. This is going to be so much fun. I love interacting with our fans. I love trying to rile them up like I would my dogs at home, right? Just get them going, get them riled.
Right.
And so I'm really looking forward to that. I always love whenever they really bring the energy, because there's nothing like a home crowd. And Erie saw a little bit of that yesterday on the road. Guelph had their Fan Fest, their home opener yesterday as well. They were pretty amped up coming out of the gun, and their crowd was too. Very, very loud, very energetic. A really packed barn last night in Guelph, and I think Erie might have felt that a little bit in the first period, and no doubt Kitchener did as well yesterday. Only had 3 shots in their first period in their own home opener.
Yeah.
Now going on the road, I'm curious to see how that'll affect both teams. But head coach Chris Millette, and I'm a big wrestling fan all my life, so he's very over with the crowd, is how I would describe Chris Millette. Anytime his face gets shown on the Jumbotron, anytime somebody says his name, it calls for celebration. I was over at Buffalo Wild Wings the other day. I said Chris Millette, and the whole place stood up and applauded for 5 minutes. And so I'm super, super excited. The home crowd makes the whole difference, right? It just gets you comfortable because they're rooting for you. They want to see you succeed, and they're here to watch you win a hockey game.
Well, let's just remember the last time that the Otters had a head coach named Chris with a K. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to jinx anything or whatever. I'm just making a reference. I'm just making an obvious point. That was 2017. Many of you know what happened back then, and we're looking for that to happen again here in 2025. So again, game time just over 3 hours away. You are watching our Off the Record first ever episode special. Off the Record's going to be Thursdays at 7 o'clock. We can't wait. Do you have a bit of an insight as to what the first episode next Thursday is going to look like, Tim? I know you're going to do a lot of player features, but What can we expect our audience for Off the Record this upcoming Thursday?
Well, certainly a great host in Trevor Cabella. This guy just
I
got
thought
the
you were going to say
promotion.
Tim Quinn.
No.
No.
Bad
Tim,
host.
great host in Tim Quinn. Come on now.
But certainly a great host in Trevor Cabella. Somebody who worked so hard over the last couple of years inside this organization to now become the guy, the play-by-play voice of the Erie Otters, and so very much looking forward to hearing all these episodes.
By the way, we'd like Trevor to hop on for 5 minutes if he has time. That'd be wonderful. Hey, grab yourself a chair too, Trevor, if you can, because we have two back here. But anyway, continue, Tim.
So for the first episode, I was lucky enough to be able to join Trevor, just me and him, for the first episode. So we were able to sit down and kind of chat my journey, his journey to where we are now. Trevor 23, myself 22, two of the younger broadcasters in the league. So just having a conversation about how we got here, what stemmed our love of not only the Erie Otters, but hockey and the Erie community as a whole. And here he is right here, the best dressed man in all of Erie. Look at the bow tie, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say, folks, the bow tie is going to be the reason why this episode and the next episode, number one, works out really, really well. Let's bring him in. Trevor, make sure you got a good mic on. Can you hear us?
I cannot hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Am I plugging this one into the wrong one? All right.
We'll go one ear out.
We'll go one ear out, one ear in. Welcome in, Trevor Cabella, everyone. Here is the big reveal. We said the bow tie on Wednesday when he came on our Gem City Sports podcast was going to be a great one, and you did not disappoint. Nice gold bow tie. Show everyone and tell everyone exactly what this bow tie is about, because there's a story behind it.
Absolutely. So Darcy Chabola, who's our terrific director of business ops here at the Erie Otters, does an amazing job in the Otters Den team store. Has a friend that is able to turn stuff like this, or turn things into things like this. And she took a couple of the old COVID masks and was able to make it into a couple of Otters bow ties. I have a navy blue version of this as well, which you'll see coming up very soon as well. So a big thank you to them. And guys, great to be with you. Fired up.
Yeah.
Home opener. Great partnership. And thank you guys so much for having me as well. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one tonight.
Well, first of all, it's thanks to all of you for being a part of our network. We're more than thrilled to bring the Otters on. It's the biggest show we're going to have on our network so far in the year that we've been doing this. But Tim and I were just talking about the excitement around the home opener, and this is your first one in the play-by-play seat. I know it's a job that you've been excited for a long time, being a Gannon grad yourself, doing play-by-play for basketball, football, other sports, and the like. Take me through what your energy level is going to be like when you get to 7 o'clock. Is your mic going to have to be down almost all the way? Because I know as a professional, you know not to yell and not to raise your voice, but it's got to be inevitable at some point, right?
Hey, it certainly wasn't last night. If you tuned into the broadcast, that second Brett Hammond goal had me pretty fired up. Me and Tim were going crazy up in the booth when that one went in the back of the net.
Nice.
So, yeah, the excitement's going to be there. And again, you just feel the palpable energy around the league. There's certain nights that it really feels like it jumps out. And tonight certainly feels like one of them. I've been upstairs trying to iron out the technical kinks, but I've got our stream sent out now, so we should be good to go and able to jump on the air. So it's going to be a fun night. This is a really special one. Last night was special. Of course, Guelph was the place where I made my OHL broadcasting debut in 2023. So to have my first one as the official voice of the Otters was really special last night. But, the road games are fun, but what's better than a packed house downtown Erie on a Saturday night? Great division rival with the Kitchener Rangers in town, the team that I made my playoff debut against. So always fun to see Mike Farwell, who should be showing up here very shortly, and always enjoy almost a friendly rivalry with the Kitchener Rangers.
We were just talking about that.
Those type of games just really bring the best out of both teams.
I'll tell you what, it is crazy when we sit at this table and I'm the old guy out of the three of us. You wouldn't think a 26-year-old would be the old one, but here we are, Trevor at 23, Tim at 22. Do we ever pinch yourself, guys, and think, like, what the heck are we doing here? Like, what do we do to get here? Obviously, you both are mega talented, but at this age, is it ever a moment where the both of you, maybe even last night, you sit there and you're like, all right, we got to take this in for a second, because did we ever expect to be here at this age?
I think for me, it certainly has rang true. I mean, I had looked into a lot of jobs at a lot of different levels before Sean and Chad Westerberg, who both are no longer with the organization, but they both gave me the call and said, hey, we'd love to bring you aboard full time. And I think that was a moment for me that was kind of like, wow, like not many 22-year-olds get an OHL job right out of college. And most guys have to cut their teeth in another league and battle their way up to this position. So to be in the best level of major junior hockey, the best junior league in the world, and be able to do it for my hometown team makes it even more special.
So what are we looking at tonight?
I think We got to have an Otters win, don't we?
I don't think there's any other question. The equation has to be that.
I mean, it's got to be, right?
It has
Tim?
to be. It has to be. And for me, I think that pinch me moment's going to come tonight, right around 7
Yeah.
o'clock. Once I get down there between the benches in front of the home crowd and kind of feel that energy, I think that's when it'll really set in. Is like whoa, this is pretty cool.
I'm not going to lie. It'd be exciting to be in your seat, Trevor, but I'm not sure anyone's got a better view in the house than Tim Quinn. He gets to be literally in between the benches and gets to listen to all of the exciting language and maybe some of the colorful language, too, that I'm trying to keep it PG here. This is a PG show. That's going to be in the crowd tonight. But, Trevor, I know you got a lot of things to do. Great stuff as always. We can't wait to see your call and hear your call tonight. And this partnership's going to be a blast, man. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Yeah, first episode Thursday with this guy.
That's right.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll actually have a teaser of the show on our broadcast tonight,
Awesome.
Second intermission, so you get to see a little behind the scenes. We had one last night as well, what that episode's going to look like when it airs. Going to be recording some and getting some guys in the podcast studio and banging out these episodes here over the next couple of weeks, and really looking forward to what's going to be an amazing partnership with you guys. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Thanks for having me on the show. I was glad I was able to take a moment and be with you guys for a couple minutes, but enjoy the rest of this thing, and let's go Otters.
I told Tim I'm going to enjoy the entire night. I feel bad. I have no responsibilities after tonight, so I'm looking forward to taking in the game. Great stuff as always, Trevor, man. Have a good call tonight. All right, Trevor Kubea going to leave our set, and he will be replaced in just a few minutes with some players, Tim, because we have some player interviews to get to in just a few minutes here. We can't wait. There are some features that we're going to be doing tonight that, of course, will be part of a season-long project. But, man, I just it's wild to think that hockey season is back already. It was a quick summer, and I want to touch on really quickly before we get to a slight break, and then we'll touch on some of our players and the fan experience and whatnot. You know, Tim, you have the best seat in the house, in my opinion, with being in between the benches. What kind of dynamic is that standing where you're standing compared to maybe where the fans are or other people are? What's that experience like for you?
Well, it's incredibly unique, right? And I think just the volume mix is a super unique experience. I almost feel like one of the coaches. I'm down there and I can hear what's going on both benches. I can hear what's going on the ice, and I can hear what's going on with the fans. So it's kind of a whirlwind of all these different things. And I'm super excited because down there with my headset this year, I only have the one ear covered. And so I'll be able to really listen into what's going on and keep a tab on what's the energy like on both sides. Timeout gets taken. What are the words being said by the coaches? What's the game plan coming out of a certain face-off? And just see how both teams are really vibing on the bench. So it's a really, really unique position, and it's almost like sensory overload. And you have to kind of focus on one specific thing to be able to hear what you're listening to, and you got to really try to hear it, especially when you got a booming crowd all around you. It's a very, very unique perspective. I really enjoy it.
When we're looking forward to it, too. It should be a fun game 3 hours away from game time. Hey, we got the second half of this episode to get to in just a couple of minutes. We're going to step aside for a moment. Don't go anywhere. We're going to set up some of our player interviews and other special features as well. That's coming up as we roll along for our second half of our off-the-record home opener special for the Otters and the Gem City Sports Podcast. All right, we are back. This time, though, we are on our digital devices because we're about to head outside, Tim, to the Fan Fest for our second part of our Off the Record special. We're going to do some player interviews. We're going to showcase some fans because that's what we do here with our partnership. Let's do this. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's turn our camera around.
How long would you need me?
And go from there. So this is the walk that Tim Quinn makes sometimes to the outside.
Oh, get a hit of that fresh air.
Isn't this neat?
This is awesome.
It's a little bit little breezy tonight, but not too bad.
Not too bad at all, and you got some good live music coming. Rainmaker, unbelievable great band. I had a chance to come out here earlier, right as they got started, and they're just shredding, man, just going crazy. Yeah, they're pretty cool. How you guys doing? Bouncy houses.
I think one of the coolest things about this is there's something for everyone.
Yes. Yeah, that's the cool part about it all, is that anybody can come here, whether you're alone, whether you got a partner, whether you got kids and a family. It really is a little bit for everyone, which is a really exciting part.
Thank you guys so
Because
much.
hockey
We are
is
Rainmaker
for
right
everyone.
Here from Erie. We are indeed Otters fans.
And again, we're happy to be with you here. This is our home opener special. We're doing a podcast combined between the Otters and the Gem City Sports Podcast Network. Of course, this is part of our partnership. This is what we're doing throughout the entirety of the year. Every Thursday, 7 o'clock, you can watch Off the Record on the Gem City Sports Podcast Network, Tim. Let's see if we can get a couple of individuals for interviews. I know there are some players potentially that we're going to be getting here.
Absolutely. And when the player red carpet gets started around 4:25-ish is when we're going to be pulling in a trio of players. Right now scheduled is Dylan Edwards, Ritter Coombs, and Jake Murray. Two of those guys, new players this season. Dylan Edwards wore the A last night, a strong candidate for the C in terms of the captain, but it should be a fun one, I think, once the player red carpet gets started. Yeah, let's walk around. Let's try to meet some Otters fans.
See if we can meet some Otters fans. You know, I think one of the cool things about a night like this is people come early. You know, sometimes you'll have a situation where there are people that'll come in at 6:30, 6:45, but not like tonight. All right, Tim, let's see what we got here.
Excuse me, how you guys doing today? I love the jerseys. I love this one too. That's an incredible jersey. I know you guys sit up behind the benches, right?
I do.
That's right. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. How long have you been an Otters fan for?
I've been an Otters fan for day one.
Day one.
I've had my same seat for over 35 years. I was here, same seat when the Panthers were sitting there.
Wow.
I love my hockey.
And how excited are you for it to finally be back?
I'm excited. We're going to go all the way this year.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. So, talk to me a little about Chris Smollett. You probably had a pretty close view of everything that happened with him last season. What are your thoughts on head coach Chris Smollett?
He's a pretty wound-up individual. Let me put it that way. I've never seen a coach go against another coach and get thrown out of a game. Let's put it that way. You know, he has a spirit.
Have you made a chance to go over to the team store, the Otters Den yet so far?
I have. I was over there when we had our home opener.
I love it. How do you like the new merch?
The merch is great. It's great stuff. Yeah, keep it coming.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you back between the benches then tonight.
All right, thank you.
Sounds good.
Nice seeing you.
So that's one of the people that Tim Quinn on a night-by-night basis, you get a chance to interact with those individuals?
Oh yeah, long-time season ticket members sit right up behind me between the benches. Those are a rowdy couple right there.
So I'm curious, is it a requirement to be something that is how do I want to put this? If you get a seat behind the bench as a season ticket holder, is it a requirement to be a rowdy individual?
I would say so. Certainly not a full-on requirement, but it's certainly preferred. I love to see a good rowdy couple of crowds coming in, and the louder the better is my perspective on the whole thing.
Well, as we continue on our second half of our Gem City Sports Podcast Network Off the Record Partnership opening show, we're going to walk down the red carpet because it's being rolled out right now, Tim Quinn. So I can imagine this is what it was like for you in Los Angeles covering the NHL draft.
That's right, very similar. You got the fans all packing in on the sides. Very excited to meet the team this year, and as are we, right, to get them out here front facing, to be able to really engage in the community this year. I think it's the most exciting thing about it all.
So there you take a look. There's a lot of fans behind us, Tim, getting ready for the opening night player arrivals. And this has been going on for a few years now. We've gotten a chance to roll out the red carpet and showcase some of the players. What's the offer?
That's right. Love how the Erie community comes out for a day like this. You wouldn't think. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous degree. It's September 20th, early in the year, early in the fall, right in the late summertime, and fans love the hockey season. However, this is not hockey weather, Isaac. This is not something you look at and say, yeah, I want to go sit in a frozen building for a couple of hours. But there's just something different about the Erie community and these Erie fans. They love their Otters.
You know, in addition to the red carpet Tim walked on in Los Angeles, it's the same weather. You're probably wearing the same shades, too.
That's right. It was hot out there. It was hot, but it's just a great thing to be able to get out here and get everybody to be able to interact with the community.
So I want to ask, because we'll be featuring so many player stories throughout the entirety of the year, Tim, with our Off the Record partnership and the podcast every Thursday. What's the one story you think fans will be most interested to hear out of all the players this year?
Oh man, there's so many good ones, and so many that I don't even know yet as the personal stories, right? And I'll be curious to see how much those guys are able to open up and how much Trevor is going to be able to kind of discuss maybe some deeper subjects about why they started playing hockey, what hockey means to them, their parents, their family, because these are young guys who are 16, 17 years old who then have to go away from home. Some of them from overseas. You're talking about an Alex Mishiak, Marty Mishiak before him, a Julius Sauri this year. Guys are moving overseas away from their families. So how that affects them and their mindset to be able to grow in this community. I think stories like that is what I love most.
There you see the fans, they're lining up. This is, of course, I want to make a mention too. Obviously, we're biased. We love the Otters. We work with the Otters now in our partnership, but there's no team in the OHL, and I would argue no team in the CHL, and maybe, dare I say, no team in the NHL that does opening night like Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness, it's the best, isn't it? And for me, this is my first time, Isaac, which is what makes it even more exciting. I've not been able to see the opening night before, so I'm extremely excited to be here. I got the players' families around, and of course just the Erie community as well. So it's very, very exciting. Very exciting.
So did you go to Otters games as a kid, Tim?
I did not, no. I never did. We never made the trip up to Erie. I always just stayed down in Pittsburgh with the Penguins. But certainly excited to be able to get up here and see the atmosphere and see the fans that it was able to build. And it's sort of, to me, like an underground Pittsburgh Penguins, right? If I was growing up in Erie, I feel like I would have been at every Otters game ever because of just how exciting and exhilarating it all is.
Here's the arena. Again, you can see there's a lot of music and everything else going on. Why don't we take a minute walk back around the entirety, and so that way we can get back to the red carpet. So, Tim, I think one of the cool things about a night like tonight too is everything's open, everyone's smiling, easy access, things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. Everybody's in a good mood. That's the nice part about it. And going around, this is what I've missed so much about hockey season, about this community, about the Otters fans. It's just how open and honest they are about their love for the team, for the staff, for the new head coach, Chris Millette, right? Everybody wants to get in there and just enjoy themselves. And that's really what today is about. We want everybody to leave today saying, oh man, that was so much fun. When can I go back to the next Erie Otters game? And I'll tell you when. It's next week because Isaac, London is coming to town. The London Knights, the Sweet Caroline rivalry, reignites after they bounced us from the playoffs last season. September 27th, it's Pucks and Paws night. If you like the Team Dog Caroline, you're going to love it next week.
We're doing a live stream. No. This is for our podcast network that we got going on right now. You can see all the fans just getting ready for the action. And again, puck drop at 7 o'clock tonight. If you haven't gotten your tickets don't really know what you're doing, you should get your tickets right now. And again, we're happy to be live with you tonight on our second part of the hour-long Gym City Sports Network podcast in collaboration with the Otters on opening night. Off the Record podcast will be coming to you every Thursday at 7 o'clock as part of our new fall show lineup. We have 4 shows every week.
Tell me about the shows this week, guys.
Yeah, let's start. I'm going to go on this side of you because
let's go for it.
Every week we got 4 shows on our Gym City Sports Podcast Network. We start with Rust Belt Rundown. It's an NFL show. I know you yourself partaking in dogs.
Yeah, big NFL guy.
We talk Bills, Browns, Steelers every single Monday at 7:30 before Monday Night Football. We give some of our overreactions from the week, and what I think is the most fascinating is we tell truths and lies. We try to decipher what the lie is going to be of the week. That's the story that's portrayed, and what the truth is. So we aim to be truth tellers. So every Monday, 7:30, Rust Belt Rundown, our NFL show, and then Wednesday as our flagship show, the Kansas City Sports Podcast, brought to you by Rebich Investments. It is a hodgepodge of everything local sports. We talk a lot of high school football during the fall. Of course, in addition to high school football, we talk about anything from college football, college sports, Otters, Seawolves, anything you could imagine that's locally focused and only akin to Erie, Pennsylvania. We really want a show where we're talking Erie only, this area local only. So that's our Wednesday show.
That ties perfectly in, Isaac, with what we were talking about earlier with how the Erie community loves to support their own, right? Talking about high school football. Great idea. I love it.
Fridays is high school football rapid reaction. If you haven't seen that, make sure to tune in. Every Friday night, Rob Matz, my color commentator partner for some high school football games that we announce, we go through and break down all of the games that just took place on Friday night of high school football. Tim, I'll tell you what, Off the Record's going to be challenged because that is a huge show. Everyone always comes out, gets a chance to enjoy a night of football, and then we react to what all of you are talking about, which is high school football and the excitement. I want to go over to the merch tent too for a second.
Sure.
And get the food tent over here. But high school football rapid reactions every Friday at 10 o'clock. It's a really great opportunity for you to just ingratiate yourself into the high school football culture and community here around Erie, Pennsylvania. Of course, those Thursdays will be Off the Record. We have Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday shows, which is going to be pretty neat and exciting. So looking forward to that. We got some food over here.
What's going on, everyone? How we doing? Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Everybody ready for season to be back finally? Good to see everybody.
Been here since 10 a.m.
Ooh, I saw it. I was a little bit jealous. A little bit jealous.
So what do we have down here right now?
So we are live on our Otters social medias right now.
Salad. We got pulled pork. We got cowboy beans. We got burgers, dogs, buffalo dip. I think down there some baked macaroni, some sliders.
Oh man, that sounds tremendous. Sounds absolutely
Put that
wonderful.
down and eat.
I was going to say, once we get done with this phone, I'm taking this phone down,
definitely.
and we're gonna talk about food. Tim, while we're at it, by the way, I think this is probably a good segue as we get ready. By the way, in a few minutes, we're going to be doing some player interviews. Tim just mentioned
They're about to right now. We're about to get started.
Tim just mentioned the 3 players that we'll be speaking to, including one of the local products and somebody that you'll really like a lot for the Erie Otters. But Tim, I got to ask you, because we've been talking about the fan atmosphere, the festivities. Of course, food's a big part of it too. Give me your best game day food lineup.
Oh man. Well, that's a good question for me, not for Trev, because Trevor Gavea, for those of you who don't know, does not eat during the pregame. He has no food. He doesn't eat in the morning. He doesn't eat for lunch. He doesn't eat any dinner. He only eats after the game. And
now wait a minute. While we discuss this further, we have to go talk to Trevor and ask him again. It's ridiculous. Okay, so but
for me, I just like some good chicken. Give me some chicken pasta, maybe like just something nice and simple to get me over the edge, but not to the point where I'm going to have to take a little bit of a break from the broadcast. If you know what I'm saying.
Youngins in shape, eating all healthy and whatnot. I'd be eating anything but that at this point. Let's go talk to Trevor, because I never heard this before about not eating before a game. He doesn't eat at all.
Does not eat at all. He's getting ready right now.
Trevor Cabea is getting ready to go on stage. Trevor, before you go on stage, I got to tell you, I was just told that you don't eat at all before the game.
Not before the game. Got to stay light. Yeah. After though, usually a trip to some fast food establishment to enjoy the rest of my evening. But yeah, typically not before the game. I just got to feel light on the air.
All right. Well, I understand. We'll give it to him. I feel like the amount of work you guys put in, exciting. So, all right. Everything sound good, by the way, Trevor, on this?
Yeah, I think so. I love it. Everything sounded great. I tuned in a moment ago. It sounded fantastic. So Caitlin, our intern, did as well, and she said it sounded great. So
I love it.
Sounded fantastic.
Trevor, the voice of the Erie Otters, by the way, is about to head up on stage and introduce one by one the players of the 2025-2026 Erie Otters, which we're all so excited for, and that is the cause for the gigantic line of people that we see here. So right as the players get up here, right as they get lined up, we are going to be ready to go, my man. And by the way, let's get another shot of just come out here in the sun, Trev. Come out here in the sun, Trev. Because everybody, look, the best dressed man in Erie has arrived. Look at the jacket. Look at the jacket. My man fitted up head to toe right here. It's the best I've ever seen anyone look in my life, and it's Trevor Cabella, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to tell you one thing. I had dressed up for 5 years in TV. I didn't dress myself once. My wife was responsible for all my outfits. Meanwhile, here comes Trevor at the ripe old age of 23, and this dude is dressed to the nines. He knows what's up.
He knows what's up, man. Trev's the most fashionable guy with the bow tie. The Otters logo's all over it. Nobody loves Otters hockey more than the voice of the Otters, right?
No doubt. All right, well, we got to let him get ready because we've been bothering him enough. All right, Trevor, go kill it up there.
Right, thanks, boys.
And we're going to be talking to some of those players in just a moment. So remind us again, Tim, which players we'll be speaking to in just a moment here in our podcast.
The original plan, speaking to 3 players. It's looking like it's going to be Dylan Edwards, Ritter Coombs, and Jake Murray, who was the Otters' first-round draft pick in the OHL selection draft. Ritter Coombs, a college commit, comes to the Erie Otters this season. Very excited. He is a wild card, I would say. He has been a ton of fun to work with on the social media side. He's got a great personality. And here are our players right now. So as Trevor gets ready, we will get in our spot.
All right.
And be ready for
Where are we going, Tim? You tell me.
We can
where
head
we're
right
going.
up here by the cameras.
All right, by the
We'll
cameras.
give it a little walk up.
That would make sense. So, Tim, on the subject.
How are you guys?
By the way, Tim, just for a minute, stay here. On the subject of Ritter Coombs.
Yes.
I've heard a lot about the social media aspect, the Ritter Goon, maybe. I don't want to call him that, but
I don't know.
He seems like a kind of a guy that the fans here will really love.
Yes, I believe so. And as much as he might be the Ritter Goon, he's also an incredible offensive player, a great talent with his hands. So I'm very excited, and I think the Erie community should be very excited to see Ritter get on the ice here tonight, wearing number 27.
Tim, let's make a bold prediction before we meet the players here. And again, you see them walking just up in the distance there. We're going to be talking to 3 of them here live on the Gym City Sports Podcast Network. Give me one player tonight that you think is going to have a standout performance for the Otters this evening.
I got to go with Dylan Edwards, right? He's that leadership captain, almost a captain of this team, really, and certainly a vocal captain in the locker room. I think he's somebody in front of the home crowd tonight, is looking to get his season off right. He had a couple of great bright spots in that game last night against Guelph. Look for him to be a huge factor in tonight's game.
Crowd keeps building and building and building. You know, it's really fascinating in September how warm it is and how nice it's been. You wouldn't think that hockey would be an avenue to go, but here you are. I'm going to go ahead and showcase Trevor for just a moment, Tim, and then in about 30 seconds, I'm going to grab our first interview.
Good.
Let's go. Let's go ahead and show Trevor Kubea here on the stage, announcing the first Erie Otters here in 2025.
It's time to meet the 2025-2026 Erie Otters. As you can see on my right, they'll be walking down the red carpet, guys dressed to the nines, ready to get things going. So let's kick it off with goaltender number 1, Noah Erlandin. He's not with us tonight, but defenseman number 2, Ty Henry. Defenseman number 3, Oliver Turner.
Otters players getting announced.
Ahead
of opening night.
Welcome to Erie, Julius. Sorry.
I wanted to say thank you again to everybody who's watching our live stream tonight. This is a really neat opportunity that we have with the Erie Otters to be part of their podcast and part of their team this year for the Gym City Sports Podcast Network. You can watch Off the Record every single Thursday at 7 o'clock here on the Gym City Sports Podcast Network. It's opening night. It's our live show. We have, in just moments, live interviews coming up with a few of our players that you will see here in the 2025-2026 season. Dylan Edwards, Jake Murray, Ritter Coombs are our 3 players that we'll have for an interview tonight.
Defenseman number 10, welcome to Erie, Tristan Trevino. Forward number 11, Dylan Edwards.
So Dylan Edwards set to be announced. Let's go get our interview with Dylan in just a moment.
Forward number 13, Caitlin Edwards.
Dylan's sporting the shades too, Tim.
Yeah, both. We got the double shades rocking right now. All right, once Dylan comes over here, we'll grab a quick word with him.
Dylan's one of the popular guys. He's got to sign some autographs for the fans, no doubt.
Fan favorite for sure. And Ritter Coombs joining as well. We can grab you both right here. Look at you, man. You're looking sharp. Rip, what up, man? Looking sharp as ever. All right, boys. We finally made it to the home opener. Finally made it to your first Fan Fest. How are the vibes right now? You both dressed to nines, looking sharp.
It's always exciting coming home, playing in front of the home crowd. New season, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think just kind of what he said. It's exciting. Get to show our fans a little glimpse of what they're going to see this year. So
beautiful weather out here today, and you got the shades on and everything. But first impressions of the Erie crowd for you, Ritter?
Yeah, this is nothing like what I came from. This wouldn't happen back in the USHL. So this is just again a glimpse for me of what to expect and how into it the people are here.
And Eddie, what can we expect? One of the leaders on this team this season. What can you expect from the 2025-26 Erie Otters?
We're a hard-working team. We're going to go out there each and every shift and get the crowd into it, get our guys into it, getting shots on net, banging bodies. We're going to be a hard physical team this year.
Both of you look great. I appreciate you stopping in. We'll see you guys later. Best of luck tonight. Murray, my man, look at this. Hey,
now hold on a moment.
I just called Trevor the best dressed man in Erie, and I might have lied because I didn't even see how you were fitted up here today. Murray, man, welcome to Erie. Welcome to FanFest. Welcome to your first home opener. How you feeling, brother?
I feel great. I mean, I can't wait to go on the ice. I mean, look at the fans right now. I've never experienced something like this, so I'm really looking forward tonight.
So the anticipation going into yesterday's game, and I think for me, especially in my first OHL game, I think it was nice to start on the road and then to bounce back here in front of the home crowd, get your feet under you a little bit. Were there nerves going into yesterday's game?
Yeah, there was for sure. I mean, I think first OHL game, there's a lot of nerves, but just getting that first game under my belt is pretty good, and that game's in the past, so we're looking forward to tonight.
So back in May, getting your name called in the OHL draft, right? From then to now, how have you been, man? What's the mindset been for you? How crazy of a whirlwind have these past couple of months been?
It's been crazy. I mean, I think I kind of just took a breath and realized where I am right now and, put that all past. I mean, and now the work really starts. I mean, I think I said that at rookie camp there, but, it feels really real now. So, it's just the start of something that's going to be really great.
Murr, welcome to Erie, man.
Thank you.
So excited to have you.
Thank you.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Jake Murray.
3 good interviews from Dylan Edwards, Ritter Coombs, and Jake Murray. Want to head inside and wrap this up, Tim?
Absolutely.
So there you go for FanFest. It is, as you can see, so crowded, Tim. And it's so awesome to get to watch all these people come out, be a part of what's going to be an amazing opening night. And again, if you haven't gotten tickets yet, you have your opportunity still to. Tim, game starts at 7 o'clock.
Right.
FanFest really goes till puck drop, right?
That's right. Yeah, it'll be an all-night party on this gorgeous Saturday in Erie. Isaac, I can't think of a single place on earth that I'd rather be right now.
Back inside the doors we go. We're going to wrap this episode up in just a moment for our opening night. Tim's got the magic touch. If I would have tried to open that, it would have been completely locked. So we'll take it. Tim also has the magic keys.
Also has the magic keys.
Also has the magic keys. All right, we're going to take this down for just a moment, be back on the headsets, and wrap this up in seconds here on our podcast tonight. All right, we are back, wrapping up our first ever Off the Record podcast here on the Gem City Sports Podcast Network. I gotta tell you, Tim, you couldn't ask for a better day. Beautiful weather. The sun is just about ready to set over the Erie Insurance Arena. Fans out in droves, and I think what the coolest thing was for me is everyone was smiling. And I just want to make a point. We do sports, right? Right now, the world is a difficult place to navigate. There are a lot of things that are going on, a lot of challenges that we have. This is a night that brings people together. Whether you are somebody that loves sports, doesn't like sports, getting a chance for everyone to be together. We saw some people getting some grub, enjoying the bouncy houses, listening to music. Like, this is what sports is all about, man.
It really is. I love sports so much for the incredible moments it creates and the way it brings people together. And today is a perfect example of that. It's like you said, wonderful weather out. So everybody's out there. Everybody's having a good time. We like the tailgate up there said, they've been loud and going since 10 o'clock in the morning. So some of them going pretty long days. It's been a long day for those guys up there, but certainly a great one. Sports has just a great way of bringing people together. And today, like I said, just a perfect example.
Otters and Rangers tonight at 7 o'clock, Tim. Before we leave the air, just one more time, how excited we are to be able to partner with the Erie Otters and work with the Off the Record podcast. You can watch that podcast every single Thursday at 7 o'clock. And Tim, as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, you got a great lineup ahead for what we can expect for Off the Record, including you and Trevor with an in-depth conversation this upcoming Thursday.
Yes, absolutely. Very excited to see that episode in its entirety, and then moving forward, just getting the stories from so many new Otters players.
Man, it's going to be a wonderful year. We're so excited. Hockey season has begun, and it starts officially at home in 2 hours and 20 minutes from now. This has been our first ever Off the Record podcast episode. Thanks again, all of you, for being a part of that, whether you're watching on Otters or our social media accounts. It's a partnership we can't wait to have this year and hopefully many more years to come. My friend, this was a boatload of fun. Have a good call tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Isaac.
We will see you all on Thursday for our first Off the Record podcast. Rust Belt Rundown comes to you Monday at 7:30. Be here, be loud tonight, 7 o'clock for the Otters and Rangers in the home opener for the start of a great year in 2025-2026. Take care, everybody.